Hello, I want to share. Um, Hello, I want to share. Hello, I want to share. Hello, I want to share.
Hello, Joe. Hello, yeah. Hello, good afternoon, Joe. Hi, hi.
Hey, good afternoon. How come I'm still looking at my
Yeah,
ah
live
okay,
already.
now I know because it's a bit delayed,
Hello,
right?
hello, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Hello, good afternoon, Joe. Hi, hi.
Right. Thank you, T, for helping. Oh, maybe I should
Yeah.
give him a word. I know. I switch off my sound. Is that okay, my sound?
Yeah, now it's better. Yeah,
It's all
everything
right,
is okay.
because yeah, I use the computer. Thank you, T, again for
Okay.
being the producer of the show. As usual, I can't do
Hi.
without you. So
Okay,
we
then.
are good partners. We are good partners in crime. All right. Thank you, T, for helping
Thank
out.
you.
Now,
Okay. So now I pass the show to you. Okay. Bye.
good afternoon, people. Good afternoon, people. Today I'm going to do a vertical thing. I usually do a horizontal background. It's because I often have invited guests. But this month, I am going solo, but just for 4 sessions. And I promise I'm not going to take too long because if it is too long, it's like, gee, people needs to go up. So I'm going to just give you some pertinent points, right? So today, what I like to reveal or to, talk about a little bit more is why I hear people saying love yourself more or love yourself first. Last week, I mentioned something about will confident make or break you, because confident and self-esteem actually they come hand in hand, and you really have to align them together. So I'm going to go on to a 4-week series. It's everything about you, everything about yourself. As an educator, my job, right, is to share my expertise, and of course I need to put food on the table. Training, it is still my, so to speak, rice bowl. So by sharing, by teaching, by coaching, this is my means of income. And this is what I really like from very, very young. So today we talk about love yourself first. So what does love yourself first means? Now, if I have people coming in, you might want to join me and tell me what is your definition of loving yourself first. Is it keeping the best for yourself? Because it's love myself first. In Chinese, there's a wording called 人不為己，天誅地滅. So we hear this every day. We hear this every part of the world. I mean, if you speak Chinese, we hear that in Hong Kong dramas, in movies. But um, I have to say, people have taken full advantage of this proverb. It's just like loving yourself first because you need to keep the best for yourself. The answer is yes and no. It depends on what are you keeping for yourself, right? For instance, people who go for a buffet, this is what I observe. Of course, being an etiquette teacher, being an etiquette trainer, we often say, hey, you know, when you go for a buffet, it's like there are different courses that you need to observe. And the buffet is there for the next 3 to 4 hours. Although your lunch during a training break is only 1 hour, but take time to eat step by step. But what I notice is the minute people go into the entire buffet room, the first thing they go for are the main courses, like grilled chicken, steak, for instance, because these are the heartiest and the heaviest food, right? So you dash onto the main course, and some even go for the very expensive ones like seafood. You have oysters and scallops because they deem to be so exclusive. So you have to eat the good one first. So you don't equate this like what we hear the story of the stone, the pebble, and the sand, because that's about your life. This is about your stomach. I had once, you know, I used to be working for people. I remember once I went into such a sumptuous buffet dinner. It was a company event, and I ate so much that, gosh, when I drive home, I practically have to stop at Federal Highway, you know, one of the highway where I really had this gastric pain. And I felt that the food is really up to my throat because I've been eating so much. And what happened was, in the next 2 days, I practically cannot eat anything as the acute gastric pain was there, and the indigestion really took me 2 solid days. So is that good? That's not good. At that instance, you are thinking about, wow, I had the best food ever. It was such a galore, but I suffered 2 days later. So that wasn't very good, right? Last night I was having a conversation with one of my graduates again, so I asked her this question, and it's like true. You know, every one of us in our lifetime, there is a span of time where we really work the hardest. Some people might say that's the span of time where you are most famous. You're the most preferred one, especially celebrities or KOLs, or you could be you may make the most money. Every one of us would have a certain timing. For me, it was like in my it was in my 30s till mid 30s to mid 40s. Yeah, you see, I work for Chanel. Very arrogant because you are the manager. Your vendors come kowtow to you. They ask you for jobs. No, so now I'm actually on the other side of the court, right? And yeah, so in my mid 30s and my mid 40s, I work for Chanel, I work for Sisley. These are all the French brands, very absolutely exclusive. Yeah. So those were the days where I travel around the world. I work like 11 hours a day, tiresome hours, let me tell you. So at that time, uh, I began my career actually at the age of 24, but the 24 to 27 was quite fun. I was Miss Sungai Way. I was doing a lot of things. But when I was 27, I went into the beauty world, and I never looked back since. Yeah, so travel around the world, spend like 11 to 12, minimum 11 hours of working. Yes, and I totally lost contact of friends. You know, those were the days in your 30s, your ex-classmates or your ex-colleagues, they are the ones that, you know, start to become mother, and then, you know, they are what they like and what I like is totally different. We lost contact. So I am married to my job. I never bothered to contact friends, right? And every day is like doing your job better and better each day because we are working, right? And what I learned, what I power pack myself is, okay, learning the products, learning the company's orientation programs, attending meetings or whatnot. People in the corporate will know. Yeah. So what happened was at the age of 48, I was thrown out of my job. When I was thrown out of my job, I was totally devastated. Then I look back at my younger self. I mean, at that time, it's still considered young. Huh? 48 is not that old now, much older, right? So, what have I done? In my 20 years of working, I did not power pack. I only learned what my job needs me to do, but I did not enrich myself by taking a lot of courses. I did not contact my good friends. I didn't create a good relationship with vendors, because one day when you have good relationships, people, you will know people will be there to help you too. So I never bothered to create that kind of relationship. I was just like thinking about my job, right? And spend all the monies buying very expensive things, because you felt that, oh, because when I work for Chanel, I have to carry Chanel bags, I have to wear Chanel from head to toe. By the way, we have to use our money to buy, although we do have a staff discount, but that's not it. Because many years ago, my house was burglared. um, I had 9 Chanel bags and 20 sunglasses. I love to keep sunglasses. Everything was lost within 45 minutes. And from then onwards, I tell myself, why do I have to, keep all these expensive things? And then at the end of the day, maybe I've been too arrogant. So upstairs may think that, oh, it's time for you to become back to mm, back on the ground, all right, so to speak. Okay, so now, because at that time I didn't learn how to love myself, I didn't start building good relationship, I didn't learn enough, my exposure was not there. So you don't know business acumen, you don't even know how to start business. And I fell sick and I had pneumonia. So at that time, I didn't even tell my family, because you don't want them to, to be worried about you. And I have a very strong character. So I tell myself, I'm going to break it. I'm going to break it through. So I had a difficult time, I must say, when I first started. I spent all my monies going for the image course. I mean, it's like I spent half my savings, right? And I didn't know how to find mentors then. But with that number of years that I work, I become smarter. Now it's like we are back to square one, because of this pandemic, the situation is so bad. But there's a big difference. No longer I'm fearful. I'm still scared, but rather disappointed. But I know how we can make things work, because right now I have a lot of friends, I have a lot of associates, I have graduates to help me, and I know totally what I can do. Those days, I know what I can do. I can train, I can speak well. Yes, I know what I can do, but I am not doing what I know. So that's a big difference. Huh? So I went into um, the internet and check some codes. Huh? By the way, when I say you need to know what you are good at, because every one of us have some kind of value. There's a proverb in Chinese also called 天生我材必有用, means you are born from, upstairs has given you a life, they will destine you to find something that you can live. It's just that, can you find it? Do you want to find it? Are you prepared to find it? Because finding things means you would have a lot of bruises. Huh? Okay, these are some of the quotes, the very popular quotes about loving yourself. So I pick one from a Persian poet of the 13th century, Rumi, R-U-M-I. I'm sure you see this very often in quotes. Every day we see people putting quotes there and having your beautiful Instagram pictures there. You know what I mean? So Rumi said, love yourself first is not about finding love. That means it's not about, so it's not about finding love if you cannot see within what you have. See? So you have to know what is inside you first. Huh? Then, once you know your own worthiness and value, go all the way out to love, because Sharing is important. If you know what you have, begin growing your heart. If you have a bigger heart, you will start sharing. And when you start sharing, I tell you what, people will just love you. This is the way of attraction. And then Lucille Ball, Lucille Ball is the great sitcom actress, of course, my time. Yeah, she's a comedian of I Love Lucy. Those days, I don't even have a TV. I have to go to a neighbor's house to watch their black and white TV. So Lucille Ball says about love yourself first. She says, once you know your value, you know your road to a journey you designed. Meaning, look for mentors and make bruises along the way. Once you have enough of it, nothing hurts you more. So power pack yourself inside, and you need to really knock yourself down with many experiences before you know you can be a better person the next day. Because every time you fall down, you start loving yourself, you know what to do the next step already. And then of course John Lennon. Uh, my first my first company called Imagine was actually from inspired by John Lennon's song called Imagine. So John Lennon said, embrace your mistakes. Loving yourself means embrace mistake, and never regret putting yourself. Oh no, John Lennon said we need to learn to love yourself first in all our glory and our imperfections. That means don't be afraid to step into the wrong platform. Don't be afraid when naysayers say things to you. Don't be afraid that you're going to also attract haters. You know what I mean? Social media influencers. Yeah. If we cannot love ourselves, we cannot fully open to our ability to love others. It's so right what he says, because why are some people so glorious? Why are some people, we look at them, we just want to be them like them one day? They are very successful. They may be very wealthy. Again, wealthy doesn't mean just money. Wealthy could be family, can be asset, can be any other things, right? We want to be like them. It's because these people have gone through hard times. They know what difficulties is all about. Their heart grows bigger, and they start to invite more people into their heart. They embrace good and bad people. They forgive and forget. That is really loving yourself. Okay, so after all this, what I'm trying to tell you is love yourself first. It doesn't mean be selfish. Love yourself first is still loving yourself, but find something in you that you are good at. You see, even mothers, you may not be earning the money, but do you know that when you show a very good example, you ensure that the house is so tidy and neat. When your husband comes back, he feels so good because he's coming back to a home. You drive your kids in and out of the school or tuition centers is because you want them to be safe and sound. So you are a protector. You have done a fantastic job. Let me tell you, don't forget to love yourself more by grooming up yourself. Find your friends, have afternoon tea with them, go for some courses, cooking courses, flower arrangement, grooming classes, whatever you can do. Don't forget, if you can groom yourself well, it's synergy with what you do. Cantonese say, 入得廚房,出得廳堂, So in the kitchen, you're a good mother, but you can even come out. So your husband will bring you, nobody but you, out for balls, for parties. So you make sure that you are the person that your husband is bringing out. All right. So who says natural beauty? Yes, certain times natural beauty, like beauty exudes from within. However, when you go out to meet people, this is really your self-image 就唔好啦啦咔咔咁出去見人。Your self-image, well-groomed is pretty important. So housewives, you are a good housewife. Just add a little bit more so that wow, your husband just love bringing you out, right? So it's not just the grooming. Are you very exposed to many other things like what is happening around the world? So you must know that. Okay, so love yourself first. Someone told me, I think actually T told me that the best analogy to talk about loving yourself first is, in the plane, you have to buckle your seatbelt first before you do that to your little kid. So you love yourself first. Take care of yourself first so that you can take care of the other person of importance to you, right? Example, your children again, or your parents. You have to be healthy to take care of your children if they fall sick, or your aging parents. So your job is tough as parents today because you have to take care of the ones on top. You also have to take care of the ones at the bottom, and you yourself have to ensure that you are brave enough, you're healthy enough to do what you're doing to get in the money or whatever means of uh, income to the family. Yes, so I always say, you as a parent, you have to show good examples. If you can be a good child to your parents, your children will mirror you. Your children will be a good child to you. Remember that. So actions speaks louder than words. So show them and not tell them. Okay. Then the other thing is there was one day I was listening. I always try to learn 我的华语 and my of course my mother tongue is Cantonese. I'm very polished in my Cantonese. English, yeah, but fair in Mandarin, although I can still 谈话还可以 So every time when I drive, I will put on the Mandarin program radio to listen. So there was this guy, so it was a talk show where audience can call the radio host and start telling them their questions so to speak. So this guy said he's so tired. He actually worked 24/7 and he's not being noticed or whatnot, blah blah blah. And the radio host actually asked him, why do you need to tire yourself like that? Don't you have me time? Because if you work 24/7, your kids are not even seeing you. Your kids can even forget when did daddy come home, that kind of thing. And then he said, well, I have 2 cars that I have to continue to lease, one for my wife, one for myself. My wife needs to shuffle the kids to school, and I have 3 housing loans because with 2 kids, I'm going to leave 1 kid, 1 house, and the original house is going to be my retiring house together with my wife. But you know what? You work too hard. I'm just afraid that will you get to see the finishing line? Meaning your house loan could be 30 years. Are you going to work 30 years? So always remember, when you want to do something, are you going to see the finishing line? You are a good wife. What are you seeing the finishing line? You want your husband to bring you out all the time, not somebody else, right? You want your husband to be very proud when he brings you out. What is the finishing line? So you don't have the me time at the moment. So if you want to work so hard to have 2 cars and 3 houses, then you got to bear the brunt. It's just that, just ensure you get to see the finishing line. So me time, finding smarter ways in order to make income, that's very important. Okay, say hi to me if you are here. Z, hello Z. Z Lim. Now I think he has become an ardent fan of mine. Very good. These are certain things that it inspire you. I just love that. So good afternoon to people. Okay, then the other thing is employee mindset. I have been an employee for a long time, let me tell you. It's good to have a job, especially at this time, pandemic. I always say, those who have a job at the moment, you are the richest people in these 2 years, right? If you are self-employed, then you enjoy the freedom. Again, better brand, you have to think about many creative ways by which I am enjoying my me time in this pandemic. I actually have learned a lot of things. I never like to look at myself in front of the mirror. Imagine, and now I'm doing live all the time. And because of my international connections, sometimes you see me having international guests. So that's a change, right? And constantly I evolve. If I come up with an online program, not successful, I do it again and I do it again and I do it again. But each time there must be something better that I learn from. So again, I have to love myself more by getting all this advancing myself. So we come back to employee mindset, right? Now, today people want to keep their job. So when they keep their job, what do they do? Like I said, I'm in the corporate world for 25 years. I know what politicking is. I detest, right? You can be the best person in the whole world, but there are still people complaining about you. Someone could be the worst person in the office, but they can be promoted. Why? So politicking in the office. Now, being hardworking, that you work 12 hours a day, you fall sick. The company will just pay for your, medical. That's it. But if you are not able to work for the company anymore, let me tell you, you will be replaced. Yeah. So the company is not going to say, thank you very much. I'm going to honor you with what? With a bag of gold. No, right? So, and also today is different. I'm very surprised. I have friends who are working right now as employees. Of course, they want to keep their job. And they tell me, I never go into Facebook, for my age, I'm talking about Facebook. I'm not even talking to them about Instagram or YouTube. Just Facebook itself. They say, no, I don't even go to Facebook, like maybe once in half a year. Gosh, do you know what's happening? Maybe you have to listen from your husband or your colleague who say things, but don't forget, listening to others is not as good as listening yourself and seeing yourself, right? So believe in what you see and believe in what you listen. So today, people are bickering behind your back. People are working overly hard. People are cheating. It's all because they are insecure. They want to be retained by the company. But let me tell you, today companies are also smarter in that sense. They employ you not because you are the cheapest. They employ you not because you work like a cow. Come on. If any monotonous job, they might as well get a machine to replace you. But because you're hardworking, you think everything, they just dump the work to you and you accept it. You become a victim, right? You just doesn't know how to say no. But today, a lot of companies, especially MNCs, they don't buy you because you have papers. They don't buy you because you have what you call that. You have experience. They don't buy you because you're hardworking. They don't buy you because you have very good product knowledge. They don't buy you because you are people pleaser. If you are a people pleaser, it just doesn't last, right? But what companies want today, they want you to be team player, meaning they want you to be somebody who's very exposed. You have the wisdom, you have superhuman relationship. You are a team player. You know what interdependence is all about. So you have management leadership. So leadership, all this, your value is part about actually your self-image. It tells a lot, your confidence and your self-esteem. So companies today are looking for people who are indirectly producing sales. So you have to be a team player. People who says, Okay, give you the benefit. You are the first who say yes. If I'm your boss, I'll be the first to sack you. Sorry, when we ask you to volunteer service, you are the last. So are you a team player? No. So who are you today? How can you pack yourself? What kind of value do you have in you? Are you starting to look out of the ring? I won't even say out of the box, out of the ring. Are you beginning to see what is happening around you? So you better love yourself more by power packing yourself. What are things happening around the world, right? So, okay, I promised half an hour. So 2 minutes overrun. But of course, I have to give you a few tips about how you can love yourself to end my show. Number one, show good example. Remember I told you? Remember I just advised? When you are a parent, how do you show good examples to your kids? If you are showing a very good example, you demonstrate them genuinely and consistently, like being well groomed, being part of the corporate image at home when you go out with your husband, be a contributor. Why can you be a contributor? Because you know what is in you. You are like, why I go for some fitness classes, or why do you appoint a personal trainer? Because they know everything that you do not know. So you learn from there, and then you demonstrate it after you learn how this kind of things that will make you a better person. So demonstrate them genuinely and consistently. So people will start to notice that you are a different person, right? Because you start loving yourself by making yourself a better version of yourself, or a better self. Improve your self-image. Number two is be grateful and appreciate little things that bring you joy. Because if you can say thank you all the time, if you say being grateful to people, people like you better because they know what you have taken is not forgotten. What goes around comes around. Always remember that. The easiest way is to start loving animals, yeah, especially the strays, because animals, they cannot return money to you. They cannot return any nice things to you. They are not going to help you anything, but they are therapists. When you are sad, they always come to you, and you spend time with them, they actually do teach you a lot of things. So these are little things that you start enjoying, you start appreciating. If you start appreciating animals, any other human around you, you will appreciate. And when you appreciate people, people will appreciate you. What comes around goes around. So start loving yourself, contribute, be generous, yeah, and love small little things because you got a big heart. Know what you want and pursue it. Be confident. Being confident means I can. So being I can, it's superficially you tell people, people will trust you. But inside, you have to power pack or align your confidence with your self-esteem. And this is how you're going to love yourself. Treat everyone the same. Because when you treat everybody the same, it shows your EQ is high. You don't divide yourself. Different people, you give different treatment. So people will respect you in that sense. Remember, respect is not about asking. Respect is how people give you. You cannot ask for it. Be responsible. Whatever you do, be responsible at the end of the day. So you be a better person in that sense. And be responsive, eat healthy. Why? Because when you eat healthy, you have a lot of positive energy around you. Your spirit is high. Always keep up the high energy and frequency. Our body has this kind of frequency. So if you are always high spirited, this is Now you know why so many people are attracted to you. So in order to have this high energy, either you have to sleep well, you eat well, you love all the things around you, grow your heart to be bigger, accept people, forgive and forget, and start sharing. If you don't share, this is not what you're going to get back, right? So people who share a lot, people who guides a lot, people who forgive and forget a lot, is because their heart is bigger. People who understand you because they have gone through very hard times. Anything else will not hurt them anymore. That is why their heart will often be bigger, all right? Because you have gone through all the hard times. So in order to be a better person, in order to love yourself, at times you really have to get yourself knocked down, I have to say. You have to learn by mistakes, yeah? So people who do not believe that learning mistakes is something that is going to make their life easier, then you really don't get it wrong. Now, okay, thank you very much for spending half an hour with me. Now, don't go because surely I'd like to tell you something that is very beneficial. Last week, I had a session called Confident Will Make or Break You, but and you have to align your self-esteem. So there were people who actually asked me, "Oh, is there something that you can guide me?" So I said, "Okay." Very quickly, I came up with a very short 2-hour Zoom course that I'm going to break it into 1 hour on my facilitation, speaking about how you build your self-esteem and confidence comes about. But I do not want to talk all the time. I want to hear from you. So the other hour is in fact a good brainstorming session where I want to discuss and nip at the point where you want to know how can you improve or how can you align your confidence and your self-esteem. So it's going to happen tomorrow for 2 hours. Now, I will only do it if I have 5 people. If I don't have, I will wait for the end of each month because I'm going to do that each month from this year, 2021, because I believe this is so important to build everybody's a better mindset to be a better person, how you want to love yourself, how you become more confident, because I want you to survive. I want you to thrive. And this time, this year is really a probationary year before you start moving up again in the year next year. But I believe this year, when everybody gets vaccination, things are slowly picking up. So be prepared. And of course, if you do not wish to have this small group coaching that is going to happen every last Sunday of the month. So if you miss out tomorrow, but I won't do it if I don't have 5 people. And you realize that it's a very small sum of money because, like I say, be responsible. You cannot expect everything to be free, right? So, in exchange for advice and tips, you have to respect yourself. So you just have to pay a small amount for a 2-hour Zoom, but it's going to be a power pack group coaching session. If you're someone who wants a complete self-image consultation at any one time, ABC, meaning your appearance, your behavior, and your communication, be prepared. Just PM me. You can go into my Facebook. You can give me a WhatsApp, a text, or email. That is something I will look into it because I do not know how intensive that renovation is. I call reformation. So my one-to-one personal self-image coaching is called a reformation of yourself because it's going to take up 6 months. I want to see in 6 months, are you there or not, right? And of course, last but not least, I love to train men. So I have my online menswear course. It will be up by the end of next week, all right? Because this is the third time I'm doing. First time it wasn't so perfect, and then I perfected it and I perfected it. It's only a 2-hour Zoom class, but it's only basics. If you are an image consultant, if you are a CEO, you do not want a one-on-one, but specifically you're a guy, you want to have the highest level in menswear, highest level, that has got to come for a men's society. It's a 3-day intensive course, face to face. 2.1 CEU. My programs are internationally acclaimed. That means it's approved by USA. But that is highly and intensive training recommended for image consultants who are teaching menswear, or CEO or politicians who wants to know menswear more. But still, the one-to-one is the ultimate, because in 6 months, I want to reform you, your behavior and your etiquette. Appearance is so easy for me, but it's the behavior and communication. It could be a little bit hardcore in order to reform someone. Okay, thank you, my people. Thank you, my supporters. If you are not in today, I believe you are going to see my replay. So thank you for your support. Love yourself more. Don't forget, don't forget what I wanted to tell you about the eagle story, which I've forgotten, right? So if you can upgrade yourself, if you love yourself more, you want to thrive, you know what to do. Go Google and check out what is the eagle story. When the eagle turns 40, when their beak it's so blunt and their beak is curved and they cannot catch prey to survive, how they actually tore away their beak and grow a new one so that they can live until 70. So let the eagle story be your inspiration. How are you going to love yourself more? Whether you're a man or a woman, I hope you have picked up a few tips from from my sharing today. All right. So people, take good care of yourself, right? And be prepared for better times ahead. Tomorrow is Sunday. If you'd like to join me and align your self-esteem and confidence, quickly register. As without 5 people, I will not start my class because I need group coaching. So it has to be a group thing. Otherwise, you have to wait for the end of each month. So don't waste your time. Do whatever comes to you right in front of you. Early bird catches the worms. All right. So have a good weekend, a productive weekend. Have your me time. Your me time and my me time is different. My me time is spending time with animals, spending time, Pinterest, because our job is also to look for pictures and all this. So have a wonderful weekend, those who are here. Thank you for your time, Z. Thank you for your time, graduates. I'll see you another time. Bye.